Hey guys, for this post-reading strategy, I will be talking about frame reading. So frame reading is a strategy designed to assess students as they organize topics, main ideas, and details about reading assignments. This technique includes like a basic hierarchic graphic organizer called a frame that will be used to help students think and talk about the key topics and essentials related to the information. I will have linked down below the example so you guys can look at this while following along. So some of the benefits of frame routine, it allows students to identify main ideas and supporting details while reading the text. And as they listen to the frame graphic, well, not listen, but following the frame graphic, the comprehension and the written materials tend to increase during this point because we really want them to start thinking about what's the key components during the reading strategy and what they're going to put into this frame. The frame routine can be particularly beneficial to many students with learning disabilities just because it depicts the organization of the concepts that the students are expected to learn. So it's a really great tool for differentiation. And so how to create and use this strategy. First, you're going to want to introduce the assigned passage of the text to the students, and you're going to want to explain the frame routine technique, which I will do next. And then you're just going to model the procedure, which I will also do next. And as well, simultaneously, you're going to fill in the information with the students, so they're not just going to do it by themselves. It's very hands-on and engaging as we help them with this, with the blank copies of the framework concept. And then as well, it's going to monitor the student's level of understanding with the familiarity of ideas and topics, whatever the reading is. And so there's 5 basic steps to the frame routine. One is select the topic. The teacher introduces the lesson topic, and it also provides students with a blank frame, which is the example that linked down below. Students will know the topic and the appropriate boxes within the frame routine to fill in at during the times. 2, you determine the main ideas. I think this could be really open for students just because of how well they can comprehend materials and how they think what the main ideas are. But practically, the second step is is the main ideas, and they just record brief statements and words that summarize key ideas relating to the topic. The third one is discuss the details. Students are going to just have the details that are just important for them to learn and remember, and they're going to write them down on their frame graphic in the detailed boxes. These essential details can later actually be ranked on the graphic according to the level of importance, so 1, 2, or 3, or how many you're going to have, and just how the importance of each one. I'll expand a bit more when I do the example. You're going to want to develop the big idea. So now this part is really, really huge. Because as teachers, we're going to want to do small groups, or we can even do a whole class to help develop the big idea statements. And so it's just all about the so what ideas. The statement is actually designed to help students understand the topic that fits overall with the context. And so these statements can be a short summary, a conclusion the student has drawn, and then a connection to a real-world application relevant to the student. And the last step is evaluate the information. The teacher, for us as the teachers, we're going to want to evaluate the new information when it's just clearly organized. We're going to have several follow-up activities, such as in-depth conversations, debating various points, drawing conclusions, making connections to other ideas, forming predictions or forecasts, and then even engaging in a journal writing. So for my example, I've been doing social studies on the 5th grade level, so the topic of mine would probably be World War II, for example, and within World War II, the idea of rationing the food and how important that was back in the day. So my key topic might be food rationing. And then we might want to have a definition created for them that might just be maybe a textbook example, or even just an example that we come up together. So it'd just maybe be the idea of World War II and the rationing of food and saving produce to send over to the troops overseas. And then there's the 3 main ideas. The 3 main ideas for food rationing might be how much each food item was, what it did for the U.S. families here, and then also just like maybe the most popular food items as well, like bread, butter, and eggs. And metal was especially a huge important one with that. And then you're going to want the essential details, and that's where the students can fill out even more details. This could even be a time for them to ask questions, even do their own research on stuff if they want to. But essentially, you want them to have just a key topic and a little bit more of an idea of food rationing at the end of my lesson, essentially. I also think this is a really great tool just for students who are very visual learners as well, just because they can see everything at once. And I think with differentiation, it's very, very important to understand that students can write as much or as little as they want, just to make sure that you know as the teacher about what they're writing down, and just to make sure that they're grasping the ideas. Honestly, some of the downsides of this, I really couldn't think of one, but maybe one could just be maybe like time management, how much this might take up for a class period, and if students don't finish, they might not remember the next time you talk about this topic to remember to fill in the rest of the blanks. But that's mostly the only downside that I could see with this strategy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys learned a little bit more about frame routine.